The building's on fire. You think your survival instincts kick in? They won't. Your brain becomes a screaming toddler. Your body locks up like rusted metal. And while everyone around you stampedes toward the same block exit, you've got maybe 8 seconds before the smoke turns your lungs into charcoal. 90% of people die because their own mind murders them first. But not you. The brutal truth. Here's what they don't tell you. Panic isn't just fear. It's a full system shutdown. Your prefrontal cortex, the part that thinks, plans, survives, goes offline. Blood floods your limbs for a fight that never comes. Your vision narrows to a pinhole. You can't hear, can't think, can't remember where the damn exit is, even though you walked past it 5 minutes ago. This is called cognitive narrowing, fancy term for your brain becoming a potato. Meanwhile, your amygdala, the ancient reptile living in your skull, takes the wheel. And that thing, it's been driving the same way for 200,000 years. Run toward the herd, follow the crowd, do what everyone else does. Even if everyone else is running off a cliff, your nervous system dumps cortisol and adrenaline into your blood like gasoline on a fire. Heart rate spikes to 175 BPM. Fine motor skills vanish. You can't unlock your seatbelt, can't dial 911, can't do basic math. You're not a survivor anymore, you're cargo. But here's the kicker. Panic is a choice your body makes for you, and you can hijack it. Method 1, the 3-second reset. First 3 seconds of disaster, stop. Sounds insane. It is insane, but it works. When chaos erupts, your instinct screams, go! Don't. That's the stampede talking. That's the herd mentality that gets people crushed in doorways. Instead, freeze for 3 seconds. Breathe. Scan. This interrupts the panic loop, forces your prefrontal cortex back online, gives you the gap between stimulus and response, the gap that separates survivors from bodies. In those 3 seconds, you're buying time, looking for secondary exits, counting threats, making a plan while everyone else is making mistakes. Navy SEALs use this. It's called tactical breathing. 4 seconds in, 4 seconds hold, 4 seconds out. Your heart rate drops. Vision widens. You stop being a passenger in your own disaster. The science? Controlled breathing activates your parasympathetic nervous system, the brake pedal for panic. It tells your amygdala to sit down and shut up. 3 seconds. That's all it takes to stop being prey. Method 2, anchor to something physical. Your brain's drowning in fear chemicals. You need a lifeline. Pick something, anything. A pen in your pocket, your shoelace, the texture of the wall. Focus on it like your life depends on it, because it does. This is called grounding. It forces your somatosensory cortex to process something real, something tangible, which pulls neural resources away from the panic spiral. You're not ignoring the fire. You're giving your brain a task it can actually complete, while the logical part reboots. Special forces operatives do this with a mantra or a physical object. Firefighters top their helmet 3 times. It's a circuit breaker for the mind. Feel the weight of your phone. Count the threads in your shirt. Press your thumb into your palm until it hurts. Pain is data. Data is clarity. Clarity is survival. The science? Your somatosensory cortex and emotional centers compete for brain bandwidth. Give the sensory side a job and fear loses its grip. You're not meditating, you're hacking your wetware. Method 3, vocalize the plan. Say it out loud, even if you're alone. I'm going to the east exit, then I'm turning left. Then I'm outside. Your voice is a weapon against chaos. Why? Because speaking engages your Broca area in your frontal lobe. That's the thinking brain, the survival brain. When you vocalize a plan, you're forcing higher cognition back online. You're transforming abstract terror into concrete steps. It also creates a feedback loop. You hear your own voice. You sound calm. Your brain thinks, oh, maybe I am calm. And it starts to believe it. This is why pilots read checklists out loud during emergencies, why surgeons talk through procedures, why hostage negotiators never stop talking. Words are scaffolding for a collapsing mind. And if there are people around you, even better. Saying your plan out loud makes you the leader,
others will follow. And the act of leading, giving orders, making decisions, further suppresses your own panic response. You become the center of gravity in a storm. The science? Language processing and emotional hijacking use overlapping neural pathways. You can't panic fully while actively constructing sentences. So talk, even if it's just to yourself, especially if it's just to yourself. Method 4. Shrink the problem. The whole building is on fire. That's too big. Your brain can't process survive building fire. It shuts down. So don't ask it to. Break it into 5-second chunks. Not, how do I escape? Just, what's my next move right now? Get to the door. Then, what's next? Open it. Then, what's next? Check for smoke. This is called microtasking. It's how astronauts survive malfunctions in space, how surgeons operate during trauma, how soldiers function under fire. You're not solving the disaster, you're solving the next 5 seconds, then the next, then the next. Each completed task gives you a dopamine hit, a tiny reward, proof that you're in control, that you're moving forward. Momentum kills panic. The alternative? Trying to see the whole picture. That's when your brain sees impossible and gives up. That's when you freeze, when you sit down and wait to die. The science? Task completion activates your brain's reward system and increases what psychologists call self-efficacy, belief in your ability to handle the situation. Each small win reprograms your threat response. So stop thinking like a victim. Start thinking like a machine. One move, then the next, then you're out. Method 6. Kill the herd instinct. Everyone's running toward the main exit. That's how you know it's the wrong choice. Human beings are sheep in a disaster. We follow, we cluster, we assume the crowd knows something we don't. They don't, they're panicking, and panic is contagious. If you follow the herd, you'll die with the herd, crushed in a doorway, trampled on stairs, trapped in a bottleneck. That's how you don't become a statistic. But yes, it feels wrong. Every instinct screams to join the crowd. That's the monkey brain, the one that survived predators by hiding in groups. But buildings don't have predators. They have choke points. And you're not a monkey, you're a human with a functioning cerebral cortex. Use it. The science. Studies of disasters show that survivors are almost always the ones who went against the crowd, the ones who took unconventional routes, the ones who violated social norms. Being weird saves your life. So when everyone goes left, you go right. When they're screaming, you are silent. When they're frozen, you're moving. Method 7. Accept that you might die. Yeah, we're going there. The final boss of panic is the fear of death itself. And here's the paradox. The moment you accept death, you stop being afraid. Not in a suicidal way, in a this might kill me, but I'm not going down without trying way. When you accept the worst outcome, your brain stops wasting energy on denial, on bargaining, on this can't be happening. It shifts to this is happening, what now? That shift, that's power. Special operators call it making peace with the reaper. Stoic philosophers called it memento mori, same concept. Death is inevitable, fear is optional. And once you're not afraid of dying, you're free to focus on living. Not recklessly, strategically, with clarity, with purpose. You take the risks that matter. You move when others freeze. You try when others quit. Because what's the alternative? Panic until you die anyway? The science? Acceptance reduces activity in the amygdala and increases activity in the prefrontal cortex. It's the neurological equivalent of putting down a heavy weight. So before the disaster, make peace. Not because you want to die, because you refuse to die afraid. 90% of people panic because they never trained for the alternative. They assumed instinct would save them, that adrenaline would turn them into superheroes. It won't. Instinct is a script written for savannas and saber-toothed cats. It's outdated firmware running on modern threats. But you just installed the update. You've had the tools, the breathing, the grounding, the vocalization, the micro-tasks, the counterflow, the rehearsal, the acceptance. When disaster comes, and it will come, you won't be the one screaming in the stampede. You'll be the one walking out while others are still trying to remember their own name. Because panic isn't inevitable. It's a choice your body makes when your mind isn't ready. And you are ready. You didn't get lucky. You won.